I'm so proud of me. Put the streets on top where they supposed to be. The sky is the limit, that's what Jesus said. Jesus said, Jesus said, Jesus said.
Hey yo, what's up? It's your man Kev Easy. It's another edition of Easy Said, and we're gonna start it off just like this. Since 50 and Cam sat down with each other, since they left that interview, they just been beefing with the world. 50 Cent still going at
Everybody.
recently this week. 42 Dogg was saying something like he gave like 100K to each or whatever. 50 came and said something, and then 42 Dogg didn't address 50 directly, but he basically said, "Hey, yo, ain't nobody about to turn me against anybody from Detroit. I need to see paperwork." So, like, really on some like, man, fuck everybody. You know what I mean? Like, if you got a problem, shut the fuck up or produce the work, right? 50 ended up replying by just posting a picture of a young version of himself laughing, you know what I mean, at the camera and saying, "Yo, you really think I give a fuck what you talking about?" You know what I'm saying? So like that BMF thing is not over. It's not gonna be over until it's over. Like over, like completely shut down, discredited. It's the way of the people that aren't understanding the way 50 moving. He's really living by the 48 laws of power. Like, you know what I mean? That's something that he's been standing on since the beginning of his career, if you've been paying attention, man. But you know, other than that, it was kind of quiet. 50 was just focusing on BMF. Then he turned his energy to someone else. Now, before I go there, let me switch over to the next guy. Cam, since that interview, he was beefing with Jim Jones. That kind of faded out for a second. And then, boom, now it's with Ochocinco. Now, if you beefing with Ochocinco, dog, 9 times out of 10 is your fault. 9 times out of 10 is your fault. Now, I met people that met him. I know people that talk about him and what he say. They all say the same thing. Is the story's consistent. Ocho would treat you like he knew you for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how Ocho give it up. So, to have beef with Ocho, kind of got to check yourself at the door. But Cam, to my understanding, I think the beef is really because Ocho didn't want to work with Cam and Mace. You know, I don't want to say Ocho didn't want to work with them, but Ocho was like, "Hey, man, talk to my agent. I'm going to figure stuff out." Cam got offended by that, and since then, he been hating Ocho, like hating his guts. So when he brought up Ocho out of nowhere, I was like, okay, all right. But one thing Cam said, he put his foot in his mouth with this one, right? Because it escalated. Ocho ended up responding on Nightcat, and, you know, he responded with love, but he stood on business. He stood on business, basically. And the next day, you know, it is what it is. Come on, Stat Baby, basically only highlighting the bad things that Ocho said, and didn't even actually say what he said. He's just saying, yeah, he was kind of talking, you know, like gaslighting in a way, right? So Cam jumped out and said, you know, I don't know how ESPN or Shannon Sharp and them want to work with somebody that be headbutting bitches. I immediately paused, like, but dog, the previous episode, well, the episode when you was flaming Ocho, you was basically talking about you wanted to get him on the show. So that means you wanted to work with him too. See, this is what happens when you don't got time to think about your rebuttal. Cam wasn't at the show yesterday. He was on Zoom or whatever. I'm not gonna lie, I got turned off by the show just for the way Stat brought that up. I thought it was like, all right, you didn't really watch what he said. And then Cam and Mace really ain't been saying nothing. But Cam, his response, and when he said, yo, I don't know why ESPN or Shannon Sharp and them want to work with you, or the NFL want to work with you when you headbutting bitches. And it's like, okay, that was some real cop shit Cam did. That was some real cop shit. You feel me? It was whack. Like, for somebody like Cam that his whole style is off of being cool, that was corny. Because you said literally the last episode when you talked about Ocho, you wanted to work with him. But he sent you to his agent, which is not a problem. Because sometimes people be so busy that they can't handle all their things. They can't handle everything. So it's like, all right, I can tell you yeah now, but it might not even be able to happen because of my schedule. So then I'm going to look crazy telling you yeah now, but I'm not really available. You know what I mean? So talk to my agent that knows my schedule, and then we can work from there. Cam got offended by that. And then, you know, we're going to see what Cam got to say today. Now, by the time this drop, it is what it is. Would have already been out. So whatever Cam reply is his reply. But other than that, let's move on to where these guys meet back up. These guys meet back up because Jim Jones went on the Breakfast Club. First, they was talking about his hits and stuff like that. And Jim Jones saying, "Yo, he got more hits than anybody coming out of New York." He said a whole bunch of gold records, whatever. He brought up 50. Envy brought up 50, and he was like, "Yo, leave that sucker out of this. Don't even mention his name." So 50 responded to that. In 50 fashion, you know what I'm saying, baby. But Jim Jones is kind of wild with that. It's like, yo, like Jim, you're saying you have all these gold records, like from people from that era. Gold records was cool, but gold records wasn't platinum records. You feel me? Like they brainwashed us to the point where if you had a gold record, you kind of flop, which is crazy. You didn't flop. It's gold, but it's like people was chasing platinum records in your era. So you had a whole lot of goals. And then 50 is the biggest artist to come out of New York. Even to this day, to the fact that he's number one on, what is it, YouTube Music or something like that, with over 1 billion listens. Come on, B. Like, he hasn't put out an album in over a decade, close to a decade. When you just putting out an album, which I'm going to actually listen to, because I like Jim Jones' projects. Jim Jones' projects is always good. But 50's response was like, hey, you only had one song, and that was from Ballin'. That was the only song you had, and Max B wrote that, which is funny because if you know the Max B and Jim Jones beef, that was like the driving point. Like Max B was like, yeah, I wrote Ballin', you feel me? Me and Sax wrote your shit. Like that was his main play, right? So that's 50 part of Jim Jones. Now Jim Jones later in that interview, they brought up Cam, and he said, yo, he'll box Cam head off. You a boxer, right? I'll box your head off for 10 million. That's not going down. I know for a fact that's not going down. And I'm not going to hold y'all, man. Like, it's something Jim Jones said and Cam said that Jim Jones said. And it's like a pattern with Jim Jones. Like, Jim Jones is like the first artist that I heard that said something. I don't think he said it. I think Cam said it. But Jim Jones is the first artist to come out and say, yo, let's start a fake beef. That's the first one I heard, right? Now, 50... was somebody that I learned ended up doing it, but it was more so to get someone else popping, or pass the torch, or to what I mean, like to give you a look. It's not to kind of destroy you, because you can see the difference between the two. Like the Chameleonaire story, make sure y'all check that out. Chameleonaire and 50, make sure y'all check that out. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, you got Jim Jones saying that about Cam. Now Cam didn't reply yet, but probably on this episode, or talking with Flay, he'll reply to what Jim Jones said. I honestly, the Dipset beef, I don't like it because it's like, it's not really necessary. It's not necessary. I don't know why Jim would have this hate in his heart for Cam and Mace because of Mace. But it's like, yo, dog, you're mad at me for being cool with somebody I was cool with before I met you. It's like, because we was able to put our stuff to the side. Now it's just, see, that's why they let this be an example to everybody out there. If you're a friend of some brothers and they start beefing, do not pick a side, because when they make up, you might mess around and get outed by both of them. You might not be cool with none of them because of that. And I feel like that was a situation with Jim Jones. He got too invested into the Mason Cam beef, where now he looks weird saying, yo, like Mace is cool. Or him and Mace can't even have that convo because it went too far. But that's that triangle going on. It's a triangle now. Jim Jones made it a triangle. He brought it back. It's Jim versus 50 and Cam. 50 got a full plate. Cam got a full plate. Jim is seeing that both of them got a full plate when it comes to beef pause. And he's on them. He's on them right now, man. But that was crazy. I thought that was crazy, man. Next up, yo, had y'all heard about the Jamaican man that was arrested for having over 1,000 pounds of marijuana going through Mississippi? Dog. 1,000 pounds of marijuana. Bro, first of all, what? Second of all, where was the statues at? Like the statues from Rush Hour? Remember? Yo, need to get that. Put your stuff in there. I don't know where they had it at, man. But damn, 1,000 pounds of marijuana. Y'all ain't have more than one driver? Y'all ain't have more than one truck? That was crazy. And I feel bad for Bull who got jammed up, man, because we don't know what's gonna happen to man. You feel me? We don't know if he's gonna tell. We don't know if he's gonna hold it down. We don't know if his bosses or whoever put him on to that, unless he's the boss. We don't know if that's gonna be, a grave mistake, if you will, But I thought that was crazy, man. 1,000 pounds of marijuana. It should have been some better planning. Unless that's something they really fuck with. There's something that they was getting away with for a long time. But I thought that was crazy, man. Hey, Cardi B won her lawsuit, man. A defamation case against Tasha K, 1.2 million, man. And it's set that Cardi she's gonna be getting paid in monthly installments. Do you know how long it's gonna take for this woman to pay Cardi back? She might see, she might have to finish her debt, and the debt might have to get passed down. It's crazy, man. If anything, this is a lesson to make sure that you're reporting the right things. Make sure you're reporting accurately, and not just saying shit for clicks. Because saying shit for clicks will get you done like this. 1.2 million. Cardi ain't got to put out no album, man. Cardi ain't got to put out no album. Because I think this is like the second case she won. I could be wrong. It might actually be the same case I'm talking about here. But, dog, it's been quiet for Lil Durk lately, man. But recently, I'm seeing that he's facing a wrongful death lawsuit alleging that he ordered a hit on Quando Rondo, which led to the 2022 fatal shooting of Lil Pap in L.A. The charges keep adding up, man. I don't know how Durk gonna fare in this, but if Durk really was trying to turn his life around, it's just unfortunate, man. He just ran out of time. Probably didn't do it. He probably didn't turn his life around when he was supposed to. I know sometimes, depending on what you believe in, you can do the wrong things your whole life, but once you turn your life around, you either get jammed up or you out of here. But it's more so like maybe you just too late. You know what I mean? Like, because you can't feel one way and make music another way, right? But it's just unfortunate, man. I know it's a lot of people that love Durk. I know Durk got a lot of kids, man, so definitely don't want to see or hear or read that he's going to be doing a long stretch, being out of his kids' lives. But on the other side of that, if he's really responsible for these murders, whether it's murder for hire or wrongful death lawsuit, stuff like that, if he's really guilty of these things, then you can't really have sympathy because you have to think about the people that lost their kids or the people that lost their parent. You know what I mean? So it's tough. You have to separate yourself as a fan into real life, man. This is not Lil Durk going through all this stuff. This is Durk Banks going through all this stuff, man. Yo, you know what's crazy? I'm hearing that it was a flight. What is it called? Qatar Airways. Yeah, it was a couple that was forced to sit next to a dead body for 4 hours. The lady died mid-flight, but instead of getting the body out of there, they just put the wrap on it. And when I say get the body out of there, I'm not talking about throw her off the plane. I'm just talking about like get her away from or at least get the living people away from the dead person. Like, the person's dead. Like, bro, do you know what happens to a dead body? Like, dog, you're not going to want to sit there 4 hours after they die. Not only is it going to stink, like, bro, it's death. It's death. It's something about death that attracts negative energy. Like, and I'm not talking about bad energy. I'm just talking, I don't even know what to call it, honestly. It just, like, it sucks the life out the room, like a dead body. You know what I mean? That's not, in a casket. Like a dead body that's with organs and shit still in it. You feel me? Like, there's something wrong with that. Like, I would have been pissed off. I would have needed free flights for the year. I would have needed free flights for the year. Dead ass, man. Dead ass. They gotta get that thing together, man. You see Trump out here. You see Trump out here, man. Trump out here trying to come up off the immigrants, you heard? He said, yo, he's selling that gold card. That gold card gonna be for all the immigrants that's trying to be, you feel me, that's trying to be citizens of the U.S. $5 million. He gonna get his money at some point. I mean, he gonna get his money some way. But then the man gonna get his money. Whether you feel like he giving you something, but he taking it somewhere else. Now, hearing that, it's like, all right, it's cool, depending on where that money going. An immigrant can come through and just become a citizen off of marrying somebody, right? You ain't really got to pay for that. Now we just getting people in the country, you feel me, that you don't have, that all they have to do is marry somebody. Now Trump doing this right here, you got to pay $5 million. Now if this $5 million goes towards the betterment of the country, the citizens, I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. I ain't got too much to talk about when it come to that, but I just thought that was interesting. It was interesting because to see how it play out. You know what I'm saying? Definitely going to revisit that topic a little bit later, man. 2 teenagers lost their lives. They saying they was at like a Lil Baby either concert or a party or whatever, and they ended up losing their life. The police department tried to blame Lil Baby about it, talking about Lil Baby performed in the ops neighborhood, and it caused 2 13-year-olds to get unalived. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was a little crazy, just throw that on a rapper. Where it's like, yo, how about the people that actually committed the crime? How come you're not blaming them, right? Thought it was crazy, man. But Lil Baby, after a couple of days, he responded, man. He said, thanks to all the concerns. Please don't be misinformed by fake news. I'm overly good. Now, I never heard overly good before in my life, but I'm going to start using it. That was overly good. You know, not the situation, but, you know, the response was overly good. You know what I mean? So he's saying it's fake news, and I ain't going to hold you, man. I live in GA, you feel me? So it's like clout is a crazy drug out here. Clout is a crazy-ass drug out here, man. And even the police would try to get clout. You know what I mean? Like, even the police would be out here trying to get some clout, man. You know? But shout out to Lil Baby, man. Keep going. Keep doing your thing, man. Hey, it was Suge Knight been going off lately. Suge Knight been going off lately, man. He had made some he had said some things about Snoop Dogg. He was like, he said something like, yo, Snoop Dogg was trying to bail out Tupac's killer or whatever, right? Snoop responded and said, this nigga won't stop talking about me. He mad because I own Death Row. I realize your real lies. I ain't gonna hold you. Snoop response, it didn't make me feel comfortable. When you say, man, this nigga just mad because, I don't know, man. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to, like, I would never want to find that out, right? Like, yo, Snoop Dogg had something to do with Tupac's murder. You know what I mean? Snoop Dogg had something to do with it. It's like, it would be like, damn, man, like, you really stopped one of our leaders, man. Like, you was paid off. Man. But I don't know. I think Suge Knight been saying a lot of bullshit lately. He been talking about Ray J and all that too. But it's like, bro, you been locked down for a long time. Why are you just saying all this shit right now? Unless you losing it. You feel me? Or you ain't getting no bread. It's something. It's something, man. But let's end this on a good note, man. Shout out to Master P. Master P was named the president of basketball operations at the University of New Orleans. I find this dope that athletes, rappers, they're doing different, well, really rappers doing different things now, being able to capitalize off of their talent in different ways, man. So shout out to Master P.
I'm so proud of me. Put the streets on top where they supposed to be. The sky is the limit, that's what Jesus said. Jesus said.